Hi everyone! So it's time to find out what books I'm going to be reading next. Usually I announce a set of 5 books, but this time it's 6 books, and that is because the next book I've been reading, if you haven't been noticing my constant reference to it over the past few weeks, is going to be the new Cormoran Strike book, which gets published on Tuesday, called Troubled Blood. So I don't have the physical book to hold up to show you, but I will have it in a couple of days. I'm having it delivered to my house because I had to order it online because of COVID, rather than do my usual thing of getting to Cheltenham Waterstones for 9 o'clock in the morning so I can then start reading it straight away. So I don't know what time on that day I'm going to be able to start reading it. Knowing my luck, it'll get delivered at like 8 o'clock in the evening or something, but I'm praying it won't. I'm keeping everything crossed that it won't. I hope to get it about like maybe 10 o'clock in the morning or something. But yeah, so I'm going to read that. It's 944 pages long, so it is a chunky book. But the previous book was 640 something pages long, and I got through that in 5 days. So we'll see how we go. It might be a week, it might be a bit longer, but I'll be starting that on Tuesday. So that's the first one. So then the other 5, I have dropped hints that it's what I've called my random mix. And that is because after I announced the set of books that I've just finished completing, I realised that my bookshelf, my bookcase, should I say, sorry, of books that I haven't yet read was down to 100 books. Yay! So I was like, right, I'm going to number these 1 to 100, and I got my sister, Laura, and our friend Sarah to each randomly choose 5 numbers between 1 and 100, which they did. And I gathered the 10 books together, and I was originally just going to do whichever 5 I preferred. But there were books in that Laura picked, and there were books that Sarah picked. And I wanted to read them both, so I decided, right, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do the 5 books that stand out of those 10 books, so for me to read. So here are the 5 books that I'm going to read after I finish Troubled Blood. So here we go. So the first one, this is the order I'm going to read them in as well. So the first one is Laura's pick, and that is Period by Emma Barnett. Now, this is a book she wrote, as the tag says, it's about bloody time, asking why don't we talk about periods, why is there such a taboo about it, and just have a fun time discussing it. It should be perfectly natural to be able to talk about something that's perfectly natural, but why don't we? And I picked this up at the Cheltenham Literature Festival last year. I started flicking through it and I really liked it, so I had to get it. I got it actually because I didn't buy any books at Cheltenham Literature Festival last year. I put it on an Amazon wish list and I bought it as part of my Christmas book haul. So just to clarify, when I bought it. But yeah, so after Troubled Blood, I'm going to be reading about periods. So there we go. Okay, the next one that Laura picked out is an Irvine Welsh, and you know how even though it is so dark, I really, really love the writing of Irvine Welsh. And this one is Skag Boys, the prequel to Trainspotting. So I've read Trainspotting. I have Trainspotting 2 on my bookshelf, and this was obviously right before it in my numbering system because it's the prequel. Laura picked this one instead of the sequel. I have of course seen Trainspotting and T2, the films, and I think T2 made reference to possibly some stuff that is in this book, but I have absolutely no clue. All I know is that it's the prequel to Trainspotting. So I don't know what's going to happen, but let's see. I totally trust Irvine Welsh is going to take me on a roller coaster ride. It's going to be dark, it's going to be sinister, it's going to be disgusting, but it's going to be fucking awesome. So there we go. And the third book that Laura picked, because next 2 is after that is Sarah's books. The third book I picked is one that kind of got rammed down my throat for a long time. Thanks to the drama that got made of it, but I never got round to watching the drama or reading the book, and that is A Discovery of Witches. I actually bought this in Stratford-upon-Avon. It'll be 2 years ago now. Because this is the first book of a trilogy, and I think that I bought it right when sort of buzz of a drama in production happening, but hadn't been released yet. And my sister was reading it, and I was like, okay, I'll get a copy. And I've stuck it on my bookshelf and never picked it up. Then the drama trailer came out, and I thought, oh, that looks interesting, but I'd like to read the book first. I'll watch the series after I've read the book. Still haven't gotten around to reading the book. So they are now in production of their 3rd series. And yeah, you know what, literally, I think last week they started production of the 3rd series, just to clarify. So yeah, so it must be 2 years that I've had this book, and I just haven't picked it up. I haven't watched the drama, and I've got Sky, and it's a Sky drama. So I got constant emails from Sky promoting it. I get constant, you know, on the opening menu of watch Discovery of Witches during COVID. Why don't you watch Discovery of Witches? I'm like, no, because I want to read the book. Now I'm going to read the book. So my sister will be happy. I've only got the first book of the trilogy. The whole trilogy is called All Souls. So yeah, I've only got the first book. See how we go with it. But there we go. Discovery of Witches, all about witches and vampires, I think, in our modern time. That's and that it's in Oxford. That's all I know. that's it. I have no clue otherwise. Okay, so the last 2 are from Sarah's picks, and the first one of those 2 is actually a book I got in my Christmas haul, because I got it after recommendations at last year's Cheltenham Literature Festival, and that is We See Everything by William Sutcliffe. So this is a dystopian novel about drones that the government control to spy on people. This guy, Alan, that's it, and a girl called Lex, and how their lives kind of interact with each other during the course of this book, being followed by government drones. And it was a school group session where different schools throughout the area had each read a different dystopian novel, and they had picked somebody to represent that novel at the Literature Festival, and they all kind of did a synopsis and talked about, you know, various aspects of the books. And as an audience, we had to vote which one was the best. Sadly, the boy who promoted this one, he came 3rd. I really wanted him to win because he was really, really great. But I had never heard of this book before, and I bought it because of that session. So there you go. I was won by him, and I'm going to check out We See Everything by William Sutcliffe. And last but not least, I love the fact that Sarah picked this because she's really into crime, just like me and my sister are as well. But the fact that she was the one who picked it is just absolutely brilliant. And that is The Devil in the White City, about H.H. Holmes. I have had this for years, and it's just been sat on my bookcase, and I've never gotten around to it, and now I am. And right at the bottom it says soon to be a major Martin Scorsese film. That kind of, at the time that this edition was published, that was true. I don't think it's true anymore, because there was a whole thing Leonardo DiCaprio was going to play H.H. Holmes, and then it kind of went silent and nothing's been heard since. So I have absolutely no idea if it's going to happen. It would be interesting if he played him. I think it would be interesting. But yeah, this is about H.H. Holmes, and there he is, this really sick serial killer who famously made his murder hotel, which American Horror Story did a whole premise around. I haven't watched American Horror Story. I really should. I've got it. It's on Netflix. I really should get around to watching it, but I haven't. But yeah, he was a sick man. But yeah, so now I'm going to read a book all about him. So there we go. So it's going to be Troubled Blood, then Period, Skag Boys, A Discovery of Witches, We See Everything, and The Devil in the White City. So those are my next reads, and I hope you'll enjoy my reviews for them. I'll be back with my thoughts on Troubled Blood as soon as possible. Like I said, it might take a week and it gets published on Tuesday, so it might be a midweek review for that one. I don't know. We'll just have to see how much I get through, but because I love Cormoran Strike, I'm just going to just spend hours upon hours upon hours reading it every day, so it might be less than that. I don't know. But we'll just have to see. So I'll be back with my thoughts on Troubled Blood, and then I'll be moving on to Period by Emma Barnett. And I will see you guys later. Bye.